Have you ever played Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins? Despite its awkward title, this is an absolutely fabulous platformer for the Game Boy. This game came out in 1992 as a follow-up to the original Mario Land. But in between the two, you had Super Mario World come out. Accordingly, Mario Land 2 takes some DNA from Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World, and they modernize the way that Mario looks and controls here. Or, 1992 modernize. Mario here looks more or less like he did in World, in a Game Boy version, and he even has access to the spin jump. This game takes another crack at the question, how do we take Mario, an existing console game, and make it pocket-sized? Mario Land 2 here takes a different approach than Mario Land 1. Instead of making everything smaller, they simply zoom the camera in. The whole game is designed around that kind of zoomed-in look. Because of the technical limitations of the Game Boy, you're never going to be swarmed by a bunch of enemies at once. Usually there will just be one or two enemies on screen with you at a time, but the way the game controls, the amount of space they give you to maneuver, and the way the enemies function are all designed with that in mind. I would argue it's done so elegantly that there are times playing this when you forget that it is on a not very powerful piece of hardware. The exclusive power-up in this game is the carrot, which gives Mario the powers of a rabbit, in that he can fly with his little bunny ears. And this game is overflowing with creativity. From the beginning, you have access to a bunch of different worlds containing a set of levels that are distinct, unique, and aesthetically and mechanically different from each other, while being on theme with the world that they're in. The Pumpkin Zone is my favorite zone in this game. This is my favorite autumnal or Halloween-y themed Mario thing in general. The iconography in this game reaches outside what you would typically see in Mario as well, including a few out there designs that you don't see revisited a ton. Like in the Pumpkin Zone, your default Goomba-type enemy is a Jason Voorhees hockey mask guy with like a knife sticking out of him. A bit grotesque for Mario, but somehow very transportative back into the 90s. Many levels have secret exits that can unlock entire bonus levels in each world, and the difficulty curve here is pretty manageable. It's certainly not the most challenging 2D Mario, but the appeal of this game, in my opinion, is seeing the breadth of creative worlds and boss fights that it has to offer. Critically, this game also introduces the character Wario, who not only was featured prominently in the marketing campaign here in the States, but also would go on to take over the Mario Land series and turn it into the Wario Land series, and become a beloved Mario character in his own right. It's clear that Nintendo R&D 1 absolutely loved this character in their commitment to featuring him as the protagonist of the next Mario Land game, and of course starting up WarioWare. Mario Land 2 is an essential Game Boy platformer. It is among the best on the console. It is a great way to showcase the Game Boy Color's color enhancement possibilities. I think this game looks phenomenal color enhanced, but it's also totally serviceable in its original monochrome. If you like 2D Mario, I would not skip this one. If you'd like to hear a longer discussion on this game, you should check out my podcast Pocketeering, which is all about retro handheld games, and follow for more.